Go Chundria, Chundria, it's Chundria Show.
Get to know Teresa Caldwell. She's a business mogul, interior designer, mom to rap and film superstar Bow Wow, and now author of I Once Was Her. You are an incredible business mogul, yes, interior designer, mom to rap and film superstar Bow Wow, and now author. Tell me about the inspiration for your book, I Once Was Her. Look at that beautiful cover.
My inspiration for I Once Was Her was when I started having conversations with a lot of young girls and young women and just hearing their stories. And then I'm like, wait a minute, their stories related to it was so relatable to my own story. So I was like, you know what, I think it's time for me to tell my story, and so people can, hear and feel what I went through and how I maneuvered through that rough period of my life, and where I am today. I thought it was just time.
Absolutely, it's time, and it's a timeless thing because you're being so transparent. I watched your Instagram video recently where you were unboxing your books, and just to see the joy in your face, and just I was in the room with you, just seeing you light up to, you're giving a piece of yourself to the world, and so
I am, and for me, even for me to open up and be very transparent and be very honest about my story. That it was a healing process for me as well, because it wasn't easy. It was hard. It took me almost a year to write this book. So it was hard, because I had to go back and relive a lot of that, that pain. And I didn't want to, but I was like, you know what, if I can change one person's life by telling my story and my testimony, it's definitely well worth it.
And you will.
Yes, I hope so.
You wrote this book, I Once Was Her. What will readers learn about you and also about themselves by hearing your story? What do you hope they'll get from your book?
They will get that, I'm very transparent. I'm very open about my life. They will get to learn to trust themselves and learn that pain is temporary.
Pain is temporary. That's inspiring, because somebody could read that. Somebody will read your book. Somebody will be going through a storm, and somebody will read what you went through, what you overcame, and feel victorious and find empowerment and inspiration in that. And that's
exactly. I think that for me, once I've learned that pain is temporary, because we think that pain, like, it's going to always be with us, but no. And not only is it temporary, but pain is also a lesson. Pain makes you stronger. That's how I look at it.
Right?
Yeah, it makes you stronger. And there's a lesson. There's always a lesson.
I'm excited. What have been some of your most difficult challenges?
Oh my God, growing up, period.
Growing up.
Just growing up, I think having to grow up and be an adult when I was a child. I was 15 years old. So I think that was one of my biggest challenges, just trying to figure it out and being an adult at a young age. I think that was tough for me. It was one of my difficult challenges.
Was being a mom at 15?
Yes. And you know what? Another thing about me, I didn't see happy, and I didn't even know what happy was. Like, I didn't know what it was. I saw a lot of darkness. I was sad a lot. So just, not seeing happiness, not even knowing what that was like, was a difficult challenge for me.
So what do you attribute to your ability to rise above those challenges?
Ooh.
Because your life's changed. You have a new life, from that 15-year-old girl who was probably scared, I'm assuming, maybe lost, confused, unhappy. I know you said that was one of the words you used was very unhappy. So, how did you rise above?
You know what? I had to sit back and look at my life and realize that was not the life that I wanted. And I felt like that wasn't a life that God wanted for me. So I had to make some serious changes. And with that being said, I had to get a therapist. I had a great mentor. I really fought through it. You know what I'm saying? Like I really wanted to change. And I think you really have to want it. And I had to put the work in. And I put the work in.
I love one thing. I love what you said. You said that you got the resources. So not only did you identify that you wanted change, but then you went after the resources to make that change. You got the therapist. You see what I'm saying? That's an important, integral part for me to hear.
Yeah. So what I did was I was like, you know what? Because sometimes we don't know how to maneuver through pain and life struggles and things that are thrown at us. So for me, it was so much, and I had so much darkness. And like I said, I didn't know what happiness was. So I really wanted to be a better person. I wanted to be a better woman. I wanted to be a better friend. I wanted to be a better mother. And I wanted a good relationship with God. You know, so with me, I was like, how do I do this? So I got a therapist. I had a great mentor, which was Curtis Martin, that played for the Jets. He changed my entire life and how I saw things. So I feel like, and you have to get people who believe in you. I think that if you get people who believe in you and want to see you grow and want to see you win, I think to me, that's what helped me.
Beautiful. And I love how that you got that, and then you turn around and now you're giving of yourself, you know, so you're definitely paying it forward.
Yes,
Speaking of which, how do you encourage others to be strong, resilient, and brave as they face their own adversities? When you hear somebody now say, man, this times are tough, Teresa, like, let me just lay it all out here. You know, you've had your own struggles. How do you encourage them? I
say be driven, know your self-worth, your value, and don't allow anything negative in your space. Don't allow anything to tear your peace down, your joy, your happiness. And for me, I was so driven. I wanted to win. You know, that's what I did. Like, I really wanted to win. And it was important to me. And I wanted my son to be proud of me. You know, I wanted my brother, Curtis, because he's done so much for me. And he put in so much time. He was there when I was so broken. So for them to see me win, that right there, that drove me up the ladder. And every time I would try to fall back down the ladder, just thinking about them two made me want to climb up. And anything negative for me, I don't even allow it in my space. My friends will tell you negativity. I live a very peaceful, joyful, happy life.
I hear another tip there. The circle that you have, you keep a peaceful environment. Your circle is on one accord. You know, you keep the negativity out. You know, your tribe. It sounds like a bomb support system. So that's a takeaway. Who is in your tribe? You know,
my support system. When I tell you, my group of girlfriends and my friends and my family is so tight, and we're all alike. We all support each other, and we all want to see each other win. So I feel like, and they don't want anything from me, and I don't want anything from them. It's just all about love and happiness and joy. Like, that's how we are. We want to see each other win. Like, it's so important, because in my book, you notice, if you read my book, I start each chapter out with my girlfriends. So one of my girlfriends, they'll say something about me in the chapter. So
that is so special. So you really brought it home. And then I see the forward is by your mentor, right?
Yeah, Curtis.
So this is a baby for everybody. This is everybody's baby.
And then, you know, I even have my son wrote a letter to me in the book. And so I didn't read the letter until I got the book. And so when I read the letter, because the things that you go through, like being a momager and being a mother, like we had our struggles, like it was tough. You know, and I didn't understand where he was coming from. I thought that he was trying to be hard, you know, and trying to like get rid of me. I'm like, boy, I gave my entire life for you. What are you talking about? You want a new manager? What? But now I sit back and I understand, like I get it. He just wanted the best for me. He wanted me to live my best life. And I couldn't do that, like managing him full time. I couldn't.
I understand.
Yeah.
And look at the selfless person that you have always been. Now you look at how you raised and poured into Bow Wow to, you know, return that love back to you. So
Yes,
I love
yes.
that. That's a full circle moment, you know, I see. And
Yeah,
then
and
speaking of which, you know, as a mother and manager to him, you know, how have your life experiences ignited tenacity in your business in the entertainment world?
oh my gosh. You know what? You know, I'm very comfortable and secure with who I am.
Oh, I know you are.
And I've always been a business woman, even before Bow was Bow, like in corporate America. So I was always like, you know, a businesswoman, and I always wanted more. You know, always like, since I was a little girl, like I always just wanted more, and I was always business savvy. And I think it came from me having a child, you know, because I'm like, this child's life is my responsibility, you know, like, and it did not come with a handbook. So I had to figure it out. So for me, I've just always been like very, I just wanted more, and I just wanted, you know, and I was always been a businesswoman.
So when you were working in corporate America, you say more. You're working in take me back to that time. You have this young son, you know,
Yeah.
before the world knows anything about a little Bow Wow. You're this working mom, working this corporate job. I mean, what were your goals then? Was it to get promoted within a company, to make more money? What were your goals then, or were you always interested in business even at that point?
I've always been interested in business. I always felt like, even when I worked in corporate America, and I was blessed because I had a great job. So before Bow was Bow, we lived a very comfortable life, you know, because, you know, I had a great job. So for me, I felt like if I'm going to work that hard for someone else, I always wanted to work that hard for myself.
Love that.
And so I was so driven. And then my boss was so supportive, and I saw how they, you know, ran a company. So I learned a lot from them. Because I'm like, I'm not working that hard for nobody else. If I'm working hard, I'm going to work hard for myself. Because I would go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I would be there till like 8 o'clock at night. So for me, I'm like, I was working extremely hard to make good money and, you know, for us to live a great life before, you know, he became Bow Wow, you know?
Wow. And then look at all how that, you know, that was a classroom for you. You know, I mean, you've been learning from your superiors. You also learned what you didn't want. You know, I don't want to be working here 16 hours a day, 60 hours a week. I want to go home and spend time with my son, you know, and more than just be working here from sun up to sundown. And I love that. So as a serial entrepreneur, you know, what sparked your love for interior design and fashion? Because I see this beautiful home back here. So coordinated and lovely. What sparked that part of your entrepreneurial life?
I feel like I have a special gift for fashion and interior designs. For me, my clients, most of my clients are athletes as far as when it comes to interior designs. And just by me seeing their face when they see their place, their home, you know, it just brings so much joy to me. Because when I do with my clients, I listen. It's not always what I like, you know, it's not what they like. And I'm the type of designer where I get to know my clients, I interview them, I find out their favorite colors, their favorite wrapper, what they like to do, and I incorporate all of that, you know, because I feel like they pay me well. So I have to bring it, you know?
But they trust you to be creative, so you take what they love and like and what they're interested in. Like if they say, I like bright colors, you know, I like family, I like my family, and I like bright colors. You can go and put the Teresa Caldwell experience on it.
Right now,
you have a frame of the family on the mantle. And
but you know what?
When did you even take this?
Like right now, one of my clients is Brady Jarrett. He plays for the Falcons.
Okay.
He just bought this big mansion, right? So they're so funny because they'll send me stuff, and I'm like, no, that's not it. No. So they trust me, and for them to trust me with, you know, their home, that speaks a lot. Like, you know, like for those guys to trust me, you know.
How much are you decorating? Are you decorating like a room, the whole house? Like what?
Oh my God.
Study?
Oh much. No, I do
Everything?
I do remodeling. I do from the hardware, from the flooring to the cabinetry to the. I mean, I have a whole team. Like I have like painters, I have contractors, I have cabinets. I mean, I have everybody.
Catch up with Coco Brown, an amazing comedian, actress, entrepreneur, and star of Tyler Perry's For Better or For Worse.
All right, my dear, you are a dynamic comedian, actress, entrepreneur, and a mom. What's your secret to staying creative, productive, and encouraged during the world's current pandemic?
You know, someone asked me how am I getting through all of this yesterday, and I told them I look to my son. His innocence right now gives me hope that, you know, with all that's going on, we have had conversations. He's only 8, and we've had conversations. We've talked about what we're seeing on the news. He's trying to understand because, you know, our babies are taught to dislike another based on skin tone or, you know, religion or sexual orientation. They don't know anything about that. They just see another child. They just see another human being. And right now, reveling in that innocence that he has right now before I have to tell him the truth is what's getting me through all of this right now. I stay creative because I'm a constant observer. I'm constantly watching, observing. So many of the things that end up on stage for me are things that I have witnessed with my own eyes and then I kind of add my own spin or interpretation into it. I've also learned in these 3 months of quarantining and everything that I hadn't been giving myself a pass to just rest and do me and march to the beat of my own drum. I was constantly chasing an audition or doing this or writing this or filming this or whatever. And don't get me wrong, I miss my life in a sense, but at the same token, I'm so appreciative of this quiet time that I've had because I've got to spend such an amazing time with my child. I mean, we had to spend this much time together since he was in my belly. And that's real talk. I mean, with my schedule. So that's how I'm staying sane right now and how I'm staying focused and creative.
Just spending time with your son. That is so special. That is so special. You're an amazing mom, you know, and I love how you champion for him. And I love how you work, you know, tirelessly to find that balance, you know, to be a working mom.
I do.
You know, I'm a mom first, you know.
Yes. I'll tell you quick, you know, and, you know, people think I'm lying, but honey, over him, I will air this thing out.
Oh, we know.
You know, I tell people all the time, I say, vengeance be of the Lord's, except when you mess with a Black woman and her child.
That's so special. Let's talk about your inspiration for launching Coco Brown Collection. It's the one-stop shop for beauty and comfort. I love that. What products do you offer and how are they helping customers through COVID?
You know, they have been extremely helpful during this time, and I'm grateful to be able to help those who are facing unsure times right now with my products. Coco Brown Collection came, I met a young lady who had a beauty line, and I had been doing some research about CBD because I'm always trying to find alternatives to prescription medications. Whether it be herbal remedies, things of that nature, because I don't know, I just don't believe in pumping a lot of drugs into your body. So when I started doing a lot of research on CBD, I learned of all the benefits that it possesses for pain, anxiety, insomnia, depression, you know, things like that. And so when I created my first product, I created with this young lady named Yolanda from a cosmetic line. You know, I started off with a product called Minty Toes. As an entertainer who wears heels a lot and is on stage on her feet for at least an hour, sometimes 6 and 7 times over a weekend because I'm doing a comedy club. I wanted something to help my feet not feel so much discomfort, you know, and I didn't have to sit down on stage or stand in the same spot or keep moving from side to side. And so we took a product, we created a product together called Minty Toes, which is a CBD infused cream that can be used on your feet that helps prevent the aching and the discomfort you get from wearing heels for an extended period of time, or just wearing heels, period. During the process of me promoting Minty Toes, I had some friends who had lupus who bought it and was using it on other parts of their bodies where they felt discomfort, their shoulders, their lower back, their hands, their ankles, you know, their knees, and they were raving about it. So now, you know, Minty Toes, I promote basically is the foot cream that can be used anywhere to alleviate pain or discomfort. I've had people use it for their children who have eczema. People have used it for psoriasis, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, carpal tunnel. I just had a woman send me a beautiful message on my site the other day saying how much her and her husband love this product, and that their doctor wants to talk to me about possibly carrying it in his office in Louisiana because they don't even want the prescription medication from him anymore.
I love that they told him that. Like, you know what? I tried something else that's working way better than what you gave me.
Right. And the way it's made, a little goes a long way. You don't have to use so much to get the results, and it lasts. Like, you know, I have a girlfriend who's a personal trainer. She did a testimony actually on my Instagram for me, and she's a personal trainer, and her husband is a fireman. And he suffers from lower back pain and, of course, aches and pains from being a fireman, carrying those huge hoses of water. And then she's a personal trainer, and she has sciatic nerve issues. And she raves about how her and her husband have shared the same jar. Like, it doesn't take a lot. They put it on in the morning and it alleviates the pain all day. Like, you know, so I'm really happy about that. So when I decided to expand the line, I went into body scrubs. I've been making my own body scrubs since college. Once I realized you could take Epsom salt and sugar and your oils and your essential oils, you know, and I'm all big about that sometimes I'm in a hurry and I'd rather be in the shower and scrub myself down and get the rough areas and, you know, make my skin nice and soft, rinse off and go. Because with the, you know, the oils that we use, the grapeseed, the olive, the coconut, you know, the avocado, the sweet almond oil, and then we infuse it with essential oils to give them different scents. But the key is we include CBD oil. And, you know, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm over 40 and I wake up in the morning sometimes asking whose body is this, because I'm hurting. And when I take a shower and I use the scrubs, the CBD oil, of course, penetrates the skin and gets into the muscles, and I feel great all day. I don't ache anymore. So that has been something that I'm very big on too, my Cocoa Brown scrubs. And then during the pandemic, I realized that people have carpal tunnel, they have rheumatoid arthritis, but we're having to use hand sanitizer like crazy. So I created my own hand sanitizer line that includes CBD that not only, you know, fights the germs and bacteria and viruses, but it also helps with those ailments like carpal tunnel, arthritis, and just achy hands.
You are saving the day from a lot of stuff. My gosh, like, I commend you on that. I commend you for creating a line that is so multifaceted and so purposeful. I mean, you're healing joint pain and everything.
Yes.
Joint
and
pain.
now I'm feeling bellies. During this pandemic, I created a line called Coco's Cravables, which are CBD infused edibles. And that has just taken off like crazy. Brownies, cupcakes, muffins, pound cakes. I've had requests for sweet potato pies, cornbreads. You know, people have asked for gummies. People have asked for, you know, all these. And now I'm doing cooking oils. I'm doing flavored butters, like, you know, Cajun, Old Bay, olive, herb, and vegetable that you can use that are infused with CBD oil as well, CBD as well, so that you can cook and still get the same benefits from the CBD.
Wow. Get ready for the CBD dressing for Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Trust and believe. I made a whole
fan of it.
oil one day, and my friends were like, this is everything.
That is awesome. I commend you on that. Let's talk about your work in television and film. How amazing was the recent reunion with your castmates from Tyler Perry's For Better or For Worse? And what were some of your favorite memories?
You know, that was amazing. A lot of us had not spoken to each other or seen each other since the show ended 3 years ago. You know, a few of us keep in touch, but you know, sometimes everybody goes their separate ways. So when I came up with the concept to do a reunion, because the fans, I cannot go online on an Instagram live or a Facebook live or just post anything without someone saying, when is For Better or when is coming back? We miss you guys. So I said, I'm going to give the fans something. We're going to get the cast together and just let them come in on a conversation amongst us, reuniting, reminiscing. And it was amazing. It was so amazing to see everybody and share our stories. I mean, I think one of the things that will always stand out to me was that, during the course of that show, we became such a family. And I mean a family in all ways, honey. Not only do we love, we fought, but we became a family, and we still support each other. Even if we don't speak, we support one another. And it was good to hear all the stories and hearing how people perceived one episode and how you perceived it. It would be a lovely thing if Tyler brought it back, but we don't know. Anything's possible. But
No.
It was good to see everybody and reminisce about all the episodes and stuff like that.
And I know that was great for the fans. Like you said, they've been.
Oh, they loved it. They want me to.
I know.
Okay. We'll talk to somebody else on one of these other shows now.
Which only teased us because now we're like, okay, that worked. That was great. Let's get some more.
Right.
Now your Instagram handle is Coco Brown, One Funny Mama, and that you are. Tell me about your start in comedy. It's something I was always really curious about, and when you identified your gift to make people laugh.
It took a friend of mine to expose my gift, because I never thought in a million years when I was growing up that I would be a stand-up comedian and actress. I mean, of course, that's you dream about maybe being in movies and stuff when you're a kid. But I mean, coming from my background, I was raised so Southern traditional. You know what I mean? I was a debutante. I was a cotillions. I went to Sunday school. And I went to youth, vacation Bible school, and I went to summer camp. And I mean, I was supposed to go to college, meet a nice boy, graduate, get married, have babies, come to my parents' house every Sunday after church. I mean, to go in this direction. It took a friend of mine introduced me to a guy who owned a comedy club in Washington, D.C., like a year, maybe about 6 months or so after I graduated college and moved to D.C. with my first job. And he saw something in me and he said, you should try stand-up comedy. You're just funny. And I said, yeah? He said, yeah. He said, come down to open mic. So I've never been fearful of a stage. I mean, I've been doing theater since I was since the fifth grade, since I was 10. But never thought I minored in theater in college. I did drama in high school, but I never thought it would be something that I would be doing for a living. But I mean, I took it as a challenge. Come down to open mic, tell some jokes. Okay. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. The first time I went on stage, they stared at me like I had two heads. But I got a crash course in how stand-up comedy works that night, because when I realized that they weren't laughing at what I thought was funny, and I just started saying, well, I really don't need to be doing this. I'm just doing this, because I just figured I'd try, because, I got a real job, honey. I work for Ringling Brothers. And they busted out laughing.
What I love about that story is you were naturally witty, it sounds like, and funny.
Yeah, if you let my friends tell it, growing up with me, I was always funny and always had some smart ass comment. But I got popped in the mouth a lot as a kid, put it that way.
And then you get a friend that says, hey, you should come down to this comedy club. And it's like your idea of what you thought would be funny is different than what everybody else saw. So you're right. I do.
Because I never thought I was being a comedian. I was just being me. My observations, and sometimes, I don't have a filter, is what would make people laugh when they were around me, and never thought a million years I'd get paid for that.
I think it's not only is your wittiness and no filters, also your facial expressions too. Out of all the movies I've seen you in, it is your delivery and your facial expressions that give me that could be the simplest thing. I just saw you recently in a movie. You played the wedding event planner, and you were like,
yeah, the other side.
Yeah. So pretend, it just cracked me up because you have,
Yeah. It's funny. The late great Justin Singleton hired me for American Crime Story, and his reasoning was, Coca, you have this amazing ability to act with your eyes. You don't have to say a word, and people can tell exactly what you're saying by looking at you. So people have told me that a long time. I mean, like I said, my mother told me a lot when I was growing up, fix your face. I said, I'm not a good liar because it's all on my face. Like,
Your family already had a hint that you were about to veer off into, you know, something a little different than they probably expected.
I think my mother always felt I kind of marched to the beat of my own drums. She never thought it would be this, but you know, my parents have been super, you know, supportive.
Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so you have an Instagram series called Conversations with Coco. What do the amazing guests that you feature have in common?
They're all small business owners,
Okay.
Small Black business owners. I mean, right now during this time, the ones suffering the most are the Black business owners, you know, especially the small business owners. And I felt compelled to let them use my platform to help keep their businesses afloat, to get their business out there, to promote themselves, to let somebody out there know that you can start your own business too. It's not too far-fetched to pursue your dream when it comes to starting your own business.
Taja V. Simpson. She's an amazing storyteller, creator, director, author, and actress. You can watch her in the role of Priscilla on Tyler Perry's hit show, The Oval, airing on BET.
Let's talk about your childhood in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I mean, my God. Southern roots, girl. I love that.
Yes, ma'am. I'm from the boot and I'm proud. Lake Charles, Louisiana. Okay, well, growing up in Lake Charles, Louisiana was a little bit tough for me because it was during a time where colorism was really big, race and discrimination was really big as the times we are in now, and I was dark skinned, and I am dark skinned. So that was a lot for me. Like, I grew up not being able to play with kids down the street for me because I was darker than a brown paper bag test, right? So that was like my everyday life, my norm. I began being a storyteller when I was much younger. Like, as a kid, me and my cousins would play pretend, is what we called it. And we would act out movies, and we would watch it and do a whole scene and act everything out. My movie at the time, my favorite film at the time, was Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. You are the last dragon. You possess the power of the glow, right? And we would watch this movie every day in the summer, like every day, and act out the whole thing. Who's the master showing up, you know? But at the time, I didn't know that meant I wanted to be an actor. My parents didn't know that. They're like, oh, she has a talent. We should cultivate that skill set. And we're in Lake Charles, Louisiana, so nothing was around to really cultivate that. So it just allowed me as a kid, and I think this kind of went over to being an adult, to have like a really vast imagination. But growing up, I'm the youngest of three. It was all girls. I'm the baby. That means I'm the favorite, clearly. As all babies would say.
Really?
You know, so it was definitely, it had its trying times, but overall, I can look back now and be like, wow, I started doing this way back then, not even realizing that what I was doing was called acting.
And look at you today. And so you said,
look at me now, right?
You struggled with colorism then. You have West African and European heritage. So I mean, how did that make you feel as a child? Did you feel less than because you were?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I used to sit in the tub and pray to God if he could just make me a little bit lighter, but like the colors in between your knuckles, Lord. You don't have to do it that much because I don't want to make it too drastic. I don't want people to really notice. But if you could just make me a little bit lighter, that would help me out a lot, you know? And as I sit back and think about that little brown girl who would sit in the tub and pray and be so specific, like in between your knuckle color. Oh, wow, that is a little lighter. You know, it's like, wow, that's serious. But it has never really gotten to the point where, let me not say that. It's more so I just had to figure out a way to cope and being in my own skin, so that made me kind of dumb myself down. I didn't want to wear bright colors. I didn't want to do anything that caused attention to me. You know, I was really, really skinny and I had a little bit of a butt, so that became a thing. I never wanted to wear anything that like clothing-wise, that would draw attention to me. I always wear baggy clothes, and baggy clothes was in back then. This is like the TLC era, you know, when they're dressing ain't too proud, too bad kind of era. You know, so that's something but I didn't want to do anything to stand out. Standing out was like, absolutely not, because that would then draw attention, and that would draw the bullies even more so. And then I had to work to get through that. How I was able to do that was when I was in junior high school. I was in the 6th grade, and my mom would say, well, when they're saying these things to you, you just say I'm black and I'm beautiful. And I'm like, why would I ever say that?
Oh,
Because
Mom,
I
I love it.
you know? And she was like, but you are. And I'm like, Mom, you have to say that. Like, you're my mom. Because no one believes that. She was like, but if you believe, it doesn't matter what everyone else thinks, you have to believe it. And so she would tell me to do this, and I'd be like, that's so stupid. I'm never going to try that. She said, if you say it with an air, if you say it with confidence, and you say it just like that, I promise you, over time, they'll leave you alone. I go back to school, and they own me, man. And they own me. I'm trying not to cry, and I'm upset, and all these things. And one day, I just was like, black and beautiful, but I'm beautiful, whatever. And I just tried to, like, play it off. And they were like, beautiful. She said, you beautiful, whatever. And they all started laughing. I was like, yep. And I was trying to, like, pretend like it didn't bother me. But over time, they left me alone. See, words have power. And even though I wasn't believing it at the time, the only thing a belief is something you tell yourself over and over and over again until you believe. And then I started to slowly believe this thing because I noticed the power of confidence, right? The power of saying this thing with conviction made them leave me alone. And then now that I'm not even having to worry about them bullying me anymore. I noticed over time I started to become a leader. Then people liked me and they wanted to be like me. And it just kind of snowballed into that. But growing up, my self-esteem was completely under my shoes. But the words of power that my mother gave me is what allowed me to be able to overcome it and then eventually believe it, walk in it, stand it, and know it.
Shout out to Mom. Shout out to Mom. For pouring into you, you know, because it could have had such damaging effects if you didn't have that, you know, as a little beautiful, brown, beautiful black girl. It could have had such negative, I mean, your life could have changed. You could have a completely different life today because she's so
Absolutely.
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah. Hey, Mama. Shout out, Lena.
So we talked about your early interests. You walked me through, how you tackled low self-esteem in that, right, in terms of colorism. Let's talk about performing arts and what cultivated into a career for you. When did you say, this will be my career?
Yeah, so it wasn't until I graduated college. So my degree is in mass communication with an emphasis in broadcast journalism. When I graduated, I started working for NBC and Fox affiliates, and I was doing news and news reporting. And I would get in front of the camera, and my directors or news directors or whoever I was working with at the time was like, wow, you're so comfortable, you're so natural in front of the camera. And I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, oh, okay. And I didn't realize that back then I'm still being a storyteller, right? Because in news, you're telling a story. Now I feel like news tells tainted stories, but back then you told the actual story of what happened. From there, I moved to Houston, Texas, and I ended up getting into this acting workshop. So this was my first time trying anything, trying to figure out okay, I've always had this little buzz on my shoulder, hey, you should try this, you should try this. And I was like, well, let me try to figure this out. So I did, and I enrolled in this acting workshop, this acting course. It was like an intensive is what it was. And I think I wanted to maybe 6 weeks or something. I don't remember how long. And at the end, it was like a big showcase where agents, managers, friends, and family could come. And I didn't invite anyone because I was like, oh,
let me try this out first before
Let me try this out. Right. Let me see how this goes.
Right.
See how this goes.
I'll tell you about it.
I'm gonna let you know, right? And so I was like, okay, I go, and at the end, I won. Gary Chase gets up. He's like, wow, this is the first time this has ever happened, but we have a person in here who's won 3 awards: the Best Actress, Best Scene, and People's Choice Awards. And I was like, oh my God. And then in that moment, I was like, why didn't I tell anyone? Because I had no one to share it with, Then from there, I did another one of his courses. It was scene study and code reading. And he pulled me aside and he's like, I really think you have what it takes. You need to be in LA. And I was like, that's cool because I've always wanted to live in LA. So I'm actually planning on moving there. He's like, okay, well, that's exactly where you need to be because you really got something, kid. And I was like, okay, thank you. Then, I moved to LA within 4 or 5 months. I ended up getting an agent. I went to an agent workshop. And out of 53 people, I was the only one they wanted to sign. And then I got an agent, and then that.
You had never acted anything before at this point? You had never done any?
I did a short film in Beaumont, Texas, because after that, I auditioned for this movie. I got the lead role in it, and I was like, oh my God, I love this movie. And it's called The Greater Ambition. Did well, but after that, that's all I had. And then I went to LA, pursuing this dream of mine of trying to be this working actor. That's the key.
That's a true testament to
acting stage,
That's a true testament to your talent, though, that you didn't have this great, resume or body of work, but the talent was there, and that's what they needed to see.
Amen to that. I never looked at it like that, but yeah, you're right, because I did not have anything on my resume. And then that's when everything started to ebb and flow.
Speak to the person who may have been in your shoes where they want to change courses and go this way, and be fearless and bold in that.
Absolutely. So I've had to learn to trust my instincts. I've had to learn to follow that still small voice, your inner spirit, your first mind, a hunch, whatever you want to call it, is all the same to me. I've had to learn to trust that because it never leads me astray, right? So when I decided, I was like you said, I graduated. I started sending out all these audition tapes, because you send out like your reels, if you will, as in just like as an actor, as a news reporter, you do, showing you delivering the news. And after that, when I was moving to Houston, I wasn't getting as many bites. And while I was kind of waiting to hear back from things, I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to try my hand at this. Let me try my hand at acting, because it's something I've always wanted to do. And now I was in Houston, so now there's way more opportunities in a little small town called Lake Charles, Louisiana. There's a vast amount of opportunity in Houston, Texas. So I was like, let me try it. I've always been a person that wanted to try something. My parents would always say, well, you never know until you try it. Like, let's just try it. Back when I was, in junior high school, my mom would say, just try it. Me trying those things and trying everything got the bullies off me, allowed me to play sports, allowed me to succeed in all these different areas in my life by just trying it. I'm not a person that ever believes in failure. There's such a negative connotation with the word failure. So words have power, but the belief in them is what really gives it the power, right? So if you believe that this failure is such a bad thing and it's so, oh, woe is me, I didn't do well, blah, 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 then that's how you're going to attract it. That's what you're going to attract in your life. I had to change my intention with failure. Failure then for me became something that I learned from. Like, ooh, okay, so don't do that. That didn't really work. Okay, so boom, do that. Boom, boom, like whatever it was. Now it's like adapt and adjust. My waitress job, if you will, was being a marketer. And in marketing, that's what we do. We're marketing something. We put it out into the market. We see how it works. We come back. What worked? What didn't? What can we improve upon? What are our areas of growth? Great, let's try it again. So I just applied that to my life in all things. So I go after it. I figure out what I want to do. I try to give my best to be as successful as I can with it. But it's my first time. I'm going to have things that's going to work. I'm going to have things that's not going to work. And then from there, I can adapt and adjust, learn from it, the good, the bad, the ugly, and then move forward again. And that's for everybody. But as an actor, you definitely have to have that, because you have to leave that audition in the room. You have to go give your all and let the rejection roll off your back, and then keep it moving. That is my biggest lesson that I've had to learn, that allows me to keep going in a business that deals primarily with rejection.
You are so amazing and such an inspiration, and I think that that's going to help someone in a lot.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for sharing that. All right. Well, we have fallen in love with your character as Priscilla on Tyler Perry's Opal. Do you share any characteristics of Priscilla?
I would say the part that I share with her is she can be very meticulous. She works at the White House, so everything has to be in decency and in order. And I think my Christian background gives me that too, because I was a director over a worship arts theater group for like 12 years. And so it was all about things being in decency and in order, I'm like that in my life a little bit when it comes to like cleanliness and work and things like that. So I would say that part of her is me for sure.
I love the compassionate side of your character. I love how you're compassionate.
Oh, okay, I'm compassionate. I'm compassionate.
Me too. I am that too. No, I love that. I love that we get to see that strong, like that woman that is strong for everybody. You're strong for your husband. You're strong for everybody. And I think that resonates across the screen. You get to see the Black woman, that is not out to have the drama, not out to be, malicious, or backbiting and all of that. You're a bomb wife, a bomb friend. You see what I'm saying? So I love that. And I think
yeah. So I got some of that. I ain't think about that part. I got some of that too.
Take it off the box now.
Take it off the box. But now that you mention it like that, no. No, I do appreciate that about her. I think, her backstory, or just for the show in general, she's been working in the the White House administration for 4 different presidents. And so she's used to things being a certain way, and she's the resident staff supervisor, so she's used to taking care of everything, serving at the hand of the pleasure of the president and the first family, and making sure things, go according to plan, because everything has to be a plan in the White House. However, this is the family. If you guys have not seen Tyler Perry's The Oval on BET, you should, because this is definitely a different kind of family that she's used to. So she has to keep that, what you're saying, with the compassion, and keep things in order, and then try to navigate this whole new, outrageous, crazy, dramatic family. Like the disrespect she deals with from the kids and all that.
Right. I love your character, and I'm excited about season 2 of The Oval. So cheers to that.
Woo! Thank you. I'm super excited. I'm reading the episodes now, and let me say something. Y'all not ready for Priscilla in season 2.
No, we're not. I already know it, because I wasn't ready for everything that happened this season. So I already know. Tyler Perry is a legendary creator. So, and you're pretty legendary yourself. You have over 40 credits as a film director under your belt. It's safe to say that you're just as passionate behind the scenes as you are in front of them. What type of media projects do you enjoy working on or creating?
As far as in general, I would probably say film. I'd probably say film. If I had to pick one, I get asked that, and I'm like, I don't know. I love both mediums so much. But what I like with film is that it's a shorter commitment, and what that means is I can go in, do this entire arc of this character, become this completely different person, and then it's like, ooh, a few more months, I'm a whole nother person. So that is exciting. But then at the same time, being Priscilla, I like to see the journey of her and where she's going. So it's just about the journey, and TV is a longer journey than it is for film, but film allows you to get in and out of various different people during the same time you would have been in at one for TV. So I respect both of the mediums. We have to learn about each of them 100%. But at the end of the day, just being a creator, I love being able to bounce around and really challenge myself in various ways.
And on top of all these titles that you wear so well, you're also an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Tell me about the Taja V Simpson collection. Offer 3 lipstick colors. Which one's your favorite?
Absolutely. Okay. So I have to tell you this quick story about my lipstick collection. Because when I said to you when I was younger, I didn't want to do anything to attract any attention. Lipstick was definitely one of those things I would never want to wear growing up, because I felt like I was too dark to wear them. Because I was always told, you're too dark to wear this, you're too dark to wear that. But I had a couple of friends in my life when I moved to California that would be like, you should wear this color. I'm like, lipstick? I'm too dark, but that's not gonna look good on me. I just believed that wasn't gonna look good on me. And then one day, after a couple of years of my friends really trying to get me to do this thing, we were in a cosmetic store, and she was like, why don't you try on some lipstick? And I was like, oh my God, okay. You know what, I'm gonna do this. And when I show you that it doesn't look good, you're going to leave me alone. She was like, okay, fine. So the lady at the counter, she was like, what do you want to try? I don't know, whatever you think will look good on me. I just want to shut her up. She's like, okay. So then she brings the lip color out. I try it on, and I look in the mirror, and I start to cry. And she's like, why are you crying? What's wrong? Take it off. And I shook my head no, and she's like, why? And I was like, because I like it. And it was at that moment, all the burden of this negativity just like came off of me, because the words have power, and someone's opinion of you does not have to be who you are. But I believed that. I believed I was too dark. I believed it wouldn't look good on me. I believed this wasn't for me. So now it's a full circle moment, because the Taja V collection, lipstick collection, has 2 different colors. The first color I bought back then was a purple, then I got a red, and then I got a pink. And I just so happy to launch a purple, which is called Triple Thread, a red, which is called Leading Lady, and a pink, which is called Lights, Camera, Action. Right now I'm wearing Triple Thread. This is one of my favorite, like, everyday kind of colors. And we're sold out of this right now, but more coming. You know, we're in this little pandemic, so it's affecting shipping and things like that, and getting materials to make it. But I'm super passionate about it, because it's more than just a lip collection for a beauty product. It's me walking and overcoming into something that I didn't believe that I could do. I didn't believe I could look good in. And then now I look at myself and I'm like, wow, you have to believe in yourself at all costs, no matter what.
Wow, well, I salute you. I love the lip color that you're wearing. I was on your website, so I checked all the colors and everything out, and I love your
Thank you.
spirits. I love your drive, and I'm excited that you have always had a tribe around you to fill you up, even when you couldn't fill yourself up. So,
Amen. That's important. Thank you so much.
very important. Well, I want to thank you for your time today. Thank you for being an inspiration to myself and to other creatives out there. What's the best way for us to continue to follow your journey?
All things social media is at Taja V Simpson. So that's TAJAV SIMPSON, and across all platforms at Taja V Simpson.
Thank you so much. You take care.
Thank you.
Get to know Lia Dias. She's a mother, wife, successful business owner, and the newest cast member of BravoTV's Married to Medicine, Los Angeles.
All right, Lia Dias, thank you so much for being a guest on the Chundria Show. How are you?
I'm good.
Well, we thank you for your time,
Yes.
your sacrifice. You're an incredible mompreneur and the newest cast member to join season 2 of Bravo's hit show Married to Medicine, Los Angeles. Tell me, what will fans worldwide learn about you this season?
Well, I think what they'll learn about me is that I'm not just, I say it all the time, but I'm not a typical doctor's wife. And I still have a lot going on outside of my, my husband's career.
You're so multifaceted, and that personally is very inspiring to me,
Thank you.
I read a quote of yours on your website at girlcavela.com, and you said, "My hope is to promote a more realistic standard of beauty for all women through the brands I create." Tell me more about the change you want to see in the beauty industry and how your business works towards that.
Yes. So in all my marketing materials, I try to make sure that I show different types of beauty, right? Now, everybody's not a size 6. Everybody's not this typical whatever the media puts out of beauty, right? Like, we all are different. And so I want women to feel like whatever their looks are, whatever their size is, whatever it is, you're still beautiful. And it has less to do with how you look. It has more to do with how you carry yourself and how you make people feel, honestly. So that's really what my goal is. And I try to make sure that that comes across when I market my stores. Like, you even see on my website, my daughter is some of my marketing materials, and she's a supernatural. But then I have girls in my marketing materials that wear weaves, and that's what they like. And so no one should feel shame, like, oh, we do this thing too, where we try to shame women for wearing weaves and wigs. Like, if that's what you like, that's what you like. And if you like to be natural, that's what that's beautiful too, whatever it is that you choose. So, and you don't have to aspire to be something different. You can be yourself and still be beautiful. And that sounds cliche, but it's so real. I don't look at the next woman and say, oh, I want this, I want that. Like, I try to make myself better, because I have to work with what God gave me. And so I want other women to feel that way. Be yourself, 100%.
Be yourself, embrace yourself, love yourself, no matter who you are, where you are, and what you're into. I love that. And there is a lot of shame in the beauty industry. So I wholeheartedly agree, and I'm glad that that's your message. And
Yes.
I'm glad your customers can see that. Now, in the wake of COVID-19, how has your business, Girl Cave LA, continued to thrive?
Well, we had to do a major shift because we are a typical brick and mortar. And we had done small investments into the e-commerce space, but not a lot. We always had a website. I always maintained it, but not to the point where it should have been. So now with COVID and people more skeptical about going into retail spaces, we had to shift entirely to an e-commerce model at one point, because the businesses were not, people were not coming out to shop. And then also too, we had to add a component of delivery services. So that's something that we started and we've kept and we're going to maintain, but just making sure people get the products that they need without having to walk into your typical brick and mortar store. So just being creative and shifting with the times, and it's benefited us a lot because we've been able to reach so many different customers, new customers, people that maybe in their neighborhood, their local beauty supply is closed. So they're on Google and they're trying to find somewhere that's open, and they find out a store, even though we're maybe 20 miles away from them, but we're delivering. So it was really great to see our reach expand during the pandemic.
As a mother, wife, and successful business owner, how do you encourage women who fear they can't have it all in life and will inadvertently have to choose? What's your personal secret sauce to balancing life and responsibility like a true boss?
Right. So I would be not telling the truth if I say I juggle it all and I just do it so gracefully. There's times that it's not graceful. There's time where my patience is thin with my children, my employees. But what I try to do is I try to rely on a team of people. So I make sure, and then I take care of the people that take care of me also too. So my nanny is great. Like, she's part of the family. My sisters are great. They pitch in. My sister-in-law is great. They pitch in. And so I just rely on the team around me, and I just try to do what is important in the moment. So there's times where the business goes on the back burner because my kids need me more. And there's times that I have to relinquish my thing as a mother, my responsibility as a mother, to my sisters or to my husband or to my sister-in-law because the business is in crisis, like it happened when we were going through the beginning of the pandemic. And so what it is my kids are so comfortable with the people around us that they don't ever miss a beat, because sister-in-law, sisters, nanny, I've incorporated them as part of the family. So if mommy's not around, it's not like I'm leaving them with somebody they're not comfortable with. So it's a balance every day. It's not always great. It's not always graceful, but I try to do what's in the best interest of my family first. And usually the business always works itself out.
Oh, that's great advice.
Yeah.
You can't have it all, but it sounds like you need a village.
It would be impossible for me to think that, oh my God, I'm going to wake up every morning and get payroll done and get 3 kids to school and make sure my husband feels supported and make sure my employees feel supported, and then come home and do dinner time and baths and homework. Like, that's not even realistic. It's not. So I stopped having this unrealistic expectation of myself very early. And then just having grace with myself. I'm not going to be perfect all the time. I'm going to miss things. I'm going to drop the ball. But as long as my intentions are good and I make up for it, it always works out. Always.
See, well, I mean, that's fantastic. That's fantastic advice. And I wish you nothing but the best of success in your upcoming endeavors and beyond. You know, you're so multifaceted and so smart and so business savvy. You know, and I feel like, you know, from my view, you're doing an impeccable job of balancing everything. So keep up the amazing work.
It's getting easier. I have a daughter that's 16, so I've been a mom for a long time. So it's easier for me. But yeah, I'm just blessed. I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed to have so many good people around me.
All right, well, that is amazing. If anybody wants, how can we catch the show, and how can we continue to follow your journey and support your store?
Yes, so every Sunday night on Bravo, check your local listings. Sometimes it's at 6, sometimes it's at 9, depending on what coast you're on. And then you can catch up with me on Instagram at Lia B. Dias, and my first name is spelled Lia.
Lia B. Dias on IG. Awesome. And in your store?
Yes.
We got everything in stock. We can still get all of our stuff in stock.
The website is full. The in-stores we're open now. We do have social distancing practices, but we're open in Inglewood, Compton, and South Los Angeles. But if you're not in one of those areas, you can shop online at girlcaveLA.com.
Thanks for watching.